Main base is hopping with the trains, and we've got a few other things going. Plus, I got a little bit more of a build to kind of talk about. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman, and welcome back to Satisfactory. We've been busy working on projects out in the world, and, well, thank you very much for your help and service there, Mr. Train. And I decided that it was time to do a couple of little local, just off-camera things so that we could kind of catch up and do a couple of more things. Our fuel plant process, or those fuel generators, are going to require us to make a whole lot of specific parts, and some of those parts can get really expensive if you're using the default recipes. So while we were out wandering around a long time ago, we got a couple of recipes that I wanted to make use of. So we're going to talk about a little bit about those two recipes, at least two of them, and why I decided to choose them. One of which is right here. I kind of went through down a somewhat down and dirty crystal oscillator factory using 6 manufacturers, using an alternate recipe that is being brought to us, I believe, by this train right here. Yes, we're going to go take a look at a couple of things today because I did go do a few little busy little projects, some of which more or less has just been connecting current little bitty offshoot factories that we had to the main base using trains so that we could do a little bit of this. So this process, this process requires 10 or 10 quartz, 7 rubber, and 1 AI limiter to make a crystal oscillator. And a crystal oscillator normally, now that I can get away from here, it's really loud. Let's go over here where it's not exactly crazy loud. A crystal oscillator normally is made by doing a process kind of like this. This is expensive and this is slow, and it also costs a lot of this kind of thing. So in here we're getting almost 2 per minute based off of the stuff that we've already been producing, plus it gives us a way to use up some of that rubber that we've been hanging on to, and it's very, very cheap on quartz. Quartz, right now we're making quartz using the standard recipe because I just didn't feel like pumping the quartz up to or down to another place. We're eventually going to replace this section right here with a large crystal oscillator factory. We're going to build crystal oscillators at a reasonable pace so that we can make computers at a reasonable pace. But for right now, I wanted to do a little bit of just let's get it done. So we're making about 12 a minute, I think, right now, something like that. And we've since removed the computer factory that I had right there, the manufacturer, and I've now moved all those down here to some assemblers that are currently idle because they should be backed up. Yes, they're backed up. Good deal. Crystal Computers makes an awful lot of computers for not a whole heck of a lot of stuff. Circuit boards, we're using that top recipe, and I am actually contemplating using the bottom one because it would allow us to make just a little bit more circuit boards faster. But right now we're really not using circuit boards for anything other than the computers. So you take a crystal oscillator and you take a circuit board, you shove it into a assembler, and you make computers. So we move the computers from the top floor to the bottom floor, and we're actually making a whole heck of a lot more of them now. So it's like, what is this, 4 times almost 3, so like 12 per minute or something like that, or whatever it is. We're really kind of cranking them out compared to the 1 or 2 a minute we were making prior. So the reason why we do that is because of a fuel, use the cool button, fuel generator. Reason why we're doing that is fuel generators require 5 computers each, and if we're going to make 200 of these things, that's an awful lot of computers. Now, that's just one of the things that we have to make. We've already kind of modified some of the other setups over there so that the heavy modular frames I've already managed to work over a little bit and get them working a little bit better so that we're using the best alternate that we can get. But yes, for right now, we're doing pretty good. So I did haul in another train's worth of materials, and that is coming in from, hit the map, please. That's coming in from over here. Now there's a bunch, yeah, more quartz stuffs. There's a bunch of quartz sitting on top of this hill over here. And usually what I do over here is I would take and put a bunch of refineries down over this water so that we could refine the quartz using refineries to do some things. And we will do that, but again, I am concerned about the devs' future plans for this area. Now, Spire Coast, I've said it in the last episode or two, and it's the reason why we're not building over here right now, and the reason why people have been told to move out of here is that from about right over here all the way to the edge down into here and into this zone right here where we already have a bunch of coal generators, They're supposedly going to redo and clean up and make pretty and do all kinds of things. So those of you that are paying attention to Coffee Stain's YouTube channel and their Twitch channel, by all means, you're gonna if you're not, go do it. If you are, it's definitely gonna be a game changer for anybody that builds over there, because a lot of people built over there because there's a pile of water and a pile of oil, which means it's a natural place to do fuel generators and rubber and plastic and several other things. So we're staying the heck out of that area for now, which means I'm not going to build any major massive amount of quartz production over in this area until probably well after they do that. Now that means supposedly June we'll see something change over here, which if we're still playing in June, which I'm totally expecting us to be playing in June, we'll do something. That does not mean we couldn't build quartz and things like down in this area, because there's a bunch of quartz underneath this hill. There's a bunch of quartz down here. There's quartz in a few places. Quartz is one of those rare resources that you don't want to, if you want to make as much of it as you possibly can for the least amount of materials as you possibly can. So we're gonna eventually need to do that, because we're eventually going to be trying to make about 75 to 100, well, 75 to 80, maybe 90 crystal oscillators a minute. And we're going to do it over there in the northern forest area, where just off of the edge of it, just so that we can, where we're already kind of building things. So to get that over with, I have been, let's go back over here and we run through the base. I have been stockpiling some parts, so we should have a decent amount of parts for the stuff that we're going to need to do today, which I think is this one or this one. One of these two, I forget exactly which one it is that we needed to do. But I have not started pulling computers out of, well, I think we pulled a few computers out. Some of this is for that kind of a deal in the beginning of it. But we have lots of computers. I'm not really worried about it. Again, really not too terribly worried about it. Crystal, we've got a few coming in. Cool. They're busy building the it's busy building these back up to where they need to be, and then it'll start filling this one up. Now we're going to need crystal oscillators later on to build certain things. Plus, crystal oscillators are good for usage in, it's kind of hard to show it basically, but they're good for usage in other things. You can actually get a better beacon recipe from them, I believe, plus a few other things. Why is that over there? Go over there, please, where you're out of my way. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go take a quick run over to our little crystal oscillator stop, and then we're going to start building towards the next portion of our fuel plant, which we're going to stop by and say hi to that. Because the next stop is going to be building 40 some odd assemblers so that we can make compacted coal. Where is my thing? So let's take a quick trip over to something that you guys haven't seen, and then we'll start taking about working on the next big project. This is going to be a long couple of days, I think. So let's see what we got. You... And away we go, round the trade station. Now, I've spent a little bit of time, and I know it's going to be kind of hard to hear over all this, but I have spent a little bit of time working the rails over, so we get to have a little bit better view. And turn off self-driving, and we'll get you out of the way in case this other one comes in. So, very simple, very easy, very down and dirty kind of. Mr. Bean, what are you doing? Dude, get out of my... whatever. Like I said, there are two pure quartz nodes right up there that when, overclock can take care of a few assemblers. Get down here because it's going to get loud here in just a second. So I just knocked out a couple of just very simple things. Again, this is not the best way in the world to do this. This is wasting quartz at this point, but we don't really need to be concerned about efficiency on our quartz production because there's only one thing we're going to be using it for right now, and that's going to be crystal oscillators. Later on, we're going to try to get on this platform. There we go. Later on, we're going to probably be moving things down there or moving them over that direction, so we'll peel all of this quartz off, dump it in over there or someplace, and then run it through a... Do I have enough to actually do it? I do. A refinery, which is the best way that you want to try to do it. You're still going to lose about half of them. It's kind of one of those things that really kind of sucks about it. You're going to lose, you're not quite losing half of it, but you're losing a marginal amount of it compared to what you would see in this recipe over here. As far as this recipe, we're not getting, we're getting, you know, you're losing quite a bit. What is it, 5 into 3 versus 9 into 7 kind of thing. So the other recipe as well, as far as silica, I don't know if we're going to use any of the silica recipes for any of the bigger projects, so it may just be something like this that we'll just do as we need it. I know there's some good stuff that can be made with silica, but I think for right now we're not going to bother with it. So let me see. This is another one of those, I needed to get some materials down so that we could use it. So this is going to be eventually either replaced with a whole bunch of refineries, and I mean a whole lot of refineries. There's a lot of quartz in this area. There is, like I said, 2 pure nodes over here, and there's a pure node and I think a normal or an impure node under that mountain in a cave. That if you want a lot of quartz, you can have a lot of quartz over here. So let's see if we can get back up on top of our platform and build a train and go to the oil, well, not the oil plant, but the fuel production plant. So we can see what we've done there. And then we need to start working towards moving towards where I want to build compacted coal. Where is it? It's this one. Train station, fuel station. Forgot what I was doing. Let's go. Save changes. Turn on. Alright, so I did go ahead and move the rail line from where we had it to where we needed to go, and this is going to be kind of temporary for now. It's just so we can get power to the rest of the area off of this thing. But I did go ahead and stick down like 30 or 40, I forget exactly, fuel generators over here so that we can be using this power. So we should, if I can get over there at this point, be able to make or be making quite a decent amount of power. I know it's loud, but yeah, we're 16,000. 16,000 sounds about right. Yeah, considering we started at about 9, so we've added quite a bit of power just in fuel generators, and that is not even the amount that we could run off of this if we just ran it straight. Now, there is a thought, and the other thought is, and I kind of did, you know, just kind of looking at the math since the way this is all going to work and however things go. I'm saving that oil for later. We're saving the leftover, that other 600 oil over here for later. If we need it, we're going to do some more stuff around. The reason why I'm going to go ahead and burn some compacted coal in turn to do fuel, turbo fuel is because of the fact that it'll be we don't need the compacted coal, or we should say we don't need the sulfur and the coal right now. Later on, we may need to change this process. So what I want to do is I want to build it in an area where if we need to convert it over into a different style or shape or color of fuel or whatever, we can. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go, well, let's take a run over there. I think we can get it. I know it's going to get a little bit loud, but let's go see, how far did I build the tracks? I don't think I built the tracks all the way into where I wanted to go. I still need to build tracks to where we need to go because we're actually going to need to start moving things around. Let me get over there. That's where I want it. There, cool. But we're going to make a run down here to the end of this mess, and then we're going to start looking at where we're going to do the next step, which is actually right over the hill over here. That might hurt. Yep, figured so. Come on, game. Work with me. All right, so right over in this area is a bunch of just flat spots that we're probably going to dump about 100 or so. Well, maybe 50 or so many. I don't know. Just depends on how many we can manage to get crammed in one area. This is going to be one of the spots we're going to lay in a bunch of fuel generators right in this area because it's nice and flat once you remove all the trees and you get rid of all the annoying neighbors. Thank you. There's a whole bunch of them over here. We got to be kind of careful a little bit. So in this little area right here is one of my favorite spots, actually, because I usually tend to build some stuff down in that little hole. We've already been here once. Over here, there is several sulfur nodes that are usable pretty easily right here in this area. So let's jump over to look at this one. There's a little thing sitting on it. Can I get to it before the autosave? And yep, cool. All right. So right here, I believe, is a normal sulfur node. And over here, just a little bit to the side, I don't have my gas mask on me, do I? No. We're going to have to go back and get that. Over on the other end of the side over here, out in the middle of this gas cloud. Whoa, shoot. Go down the bridge. Let's kind of go across. Quit hopping around like a fool. Can I make it? Oh, almost. Almost. Up. No. Ow. Gotta quit jumping around like an idiot. Need to put my dang jetpack back on. Over here is a Caterium node, an iron node, and I think 3 or 4, I think it's 3 pure coal nodes right down in this little area. So there's one right there, there's 2 back there, and then there's a normal node, I believe, right here. And over there in that gas is some limestone and a sulfur node. I believe it's normal. So what we're going to need is enough stuff to take care of that 1600 oil or 1600 fuel. So let's get away from Mr. Bean because he's loud. Yeah, you're loud. And we'll look at this next setup. So the next setup is going to be, we need to be able to make this number here divided in Dundor taken care of here. So we're going to have 1600 oil divided by 222.5. It's going to be 71.1 refineries that are also going to need 15 compacted coal. So 71.1 times 15, or 1,066 or 1,067 more or less of compacted coal. Well, 1,066 compacted coal is a 1-to-1 ratio in your assemblers. It's basically 1 coal and 1, where is it? It's down here. It's 1 coal and 1 sulfur gets you 1 compacted coal. So it's a 2-to-1, whatever you want to call that ratio, which means we need to find 1,066 sulfur. And because of the fact that we're right here where we are, and we have the ability to make miner Mark IIs, although I can't make one right now, can I? Hang on a minute. Let me get back. We're gonna make something real quick, and we're gonna get back over there. Let's see. I need my production equipment shop. All right, so we're back over here. We can put down what we have available as far as miners are concerned, which is a Mark II miner. And if we take a Mark II miner on a normal node, we're normally going to get 120 sulfur per minute. But if we overclock it completely, we can get 300. So if I recall correctly over here, there's about 600 general stuff available right local to us. Right here, right local, we've got about 600 available sulfur, and we have at least, let me get my numbers right here. We have at least 1, 2, 3, so like 1,800 coal readily available. Well, just easily readily available. I think there's more like 2,400 coal or something over here. It's one of the places I kind of tend to, when I base out in this area, I make sure that I cover that little puddle with as many water extractors as I possibly can, and then just build coal power in that hole until I get to the point where we are right now. So all we're looking for at that point is another 400 sulfur, which sulfur easily, or should say, should be easy to find here. Can I have my map button, please? Quit pressing the wrong button. I'm already mining some right here, right underneath this station right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to ship, or I should say, we're going to build a train station that will go all the way, or train track that's pretty much all the way up this direction anyway. I'm going to build train tracks so that we haul all of that sulfur to this area right here. And we're going to haul too much. I'm going to haul too much because of the fact that I think we're also going to build an ammunition factory out here, and we need gunpowder for ammunition. Now, there's caterium, there's all kinds of things, there's steel. Well, steel is available, all the things that we need to do a few other stuff. So we're going to make a compacted coal slash ammunition factory out here in the next couple episodes. So I know we've been rambling for a little while. I'm going to go cut it right here, and we're going to have to do a little bit of cutting around and playing around. I'm going to get a train track built. Can you shut up, for God's sakes? I'm going to get a train track built into that general area so we can start delivering things, and then we'll start dumping down platforms and building a compacted coal factory, I think. So I'll see you guys once we get that ready to go. Alright, we're giving this little train track a little bit of a test, but I think we've got her sorted at least good enough that I can start making stuff happen. So we've got a little track that's been wandered through the forest out here, and I've got a bunch of stuff on us, so I'm going to hope that this does what I think it should do, which we should make a right, and then we should make a quick left, and then we should dive down into this hole. Good deal. Now, hopefully I don't take a massive amount of damage with this stinking gas stuff up here. But she should stop right there. And then if we go out, which we'll see what it does. Actually, it should stop, so we'll just go ahead and cancel it. Just cancel the dock. We don't need you docking. Thank you very much. Awesome. All right, cool. So we're where we need to be. This is going to be a kind of a quickie for right now because I think the only thing I'm going to start doing is, well, we got a lot of area to blow up and clean up and stuff, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to end the episode. And so I think next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start working on building out compacted coal in here. Now, we needed a train station so that we could deliver sulfur from over here. There is there's two nodes right down here, and then there's a node up on the side of the hill over here. So what we'll probably go do, depending on how all this stuff works, is we're going to bring all of that sulfur over here. Even though we don't need it, we're going to bring all of it over here because we're going to build the compacted coal factory pretty much right here on this ledge up in the air. We're just going to kind of fill this little area up. And there is enough coal in this area to be able to do quite a bit of work as far as making other things. I think we've got somebody stuck in the... Can I help you out, sir? Yeah, I thought I saw somebody stuck down here. Hell, let me help you out there real quick. Yeah? You better now? Okay, cool. There's a lot of coal right here, and there's also a lot of other things. This is actually one of the locations I build steel at if I'm up here. So we're also going to go produce a whole bunch of Nobilis using the top recipe that's up here because we should have plenty, and I mean absolutely plenty, of leftover stuff to be able to just produce it. So we'll do 42 assemblers right along the bottom, we'll just kind of build a nice, I'm going to try to come up with a neat design that's going to kind of skyscraper up and build a kind of a nice little structure out of it. And then on the top, what we'll do is we'll toss in just a little bit of steel production so that we can make the pipes that we need to be able to make our pipe bombs, so that we can have some more stuff, because we're going to need a lot of pipe bombs. I'm probably going to cut a lot of the trees with chainsaw, but we're also going to blow a lot of them up. And I have a really neat idea for how we're going to make all of the... There's going to be different styles and shapes and colors. And the way that this whole mess will work either way is that if we decide we don't want to build all of the fuel generators here, maybe we want to put them somewhere else, well, we'll just be able to either package the fuel up or put it on tanker trains and take it to wherever we think we want to go do. Now, I know that's going to cause a problem with efficiency, and I know that's going to cause a problem with other things. But hey, that's how we do things around here. We do things the hard way. So I'm going to go to cleaning up this mess and laying out some foundations, and I will see you all in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. I think that'll work. We'll see you guys next time.